romantic scene in Riverdale would have to be...
I'm the biggest Shoni shipper, captain of the ship.
Between Archie and Veronica and Betty and Jughead. I think those were sort of the most romantic periods.
I really love that relationship.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't write the show. Don't yell at me.
It's a lot of pressure.
Wait, what do you mean? Sorry. What I remember most about shooting the pilot, probably the moment with me, Betty, and Archie walking out into the dance hall. I feel like that was a very iconic moment that really stuck with me.
I think the thing that sticks out to me most about the pilot is, I mean, it was my first ever television show.
It was my first time on a movie set.
I remember being such a noob on set.
I had no idea what I was doing, but the first day, Cammie, Lily, and I worked together, and it was very exciting and serendipitous.
It was Casey's first day on a set, I think, maybe ever, and I bought him a McDonald's hash brown on the way to work one day, and he was like, oh, this is like, I don't know, it's just like a cute moment.
It's actually really good.
Fresh. Everything was fresh. Being on set was just a fresh feeling that I'll never get ever again.
And I remember when I first stepped on the pop set, that very iconic neon lighting. It was set up in a really, really wonderful sort of picturesque way.
The scene where I'm in the water, I really remember that. I was cold.
When we're walking down the hallway talking about how Betty and Archie are endgame, and so I always think of that moment all the time with the three of us.
I think the thing that sticks out to me most is the building of relationships that are now my family members.
I don't know, I feel like it's like, what don't I remember about it?
But I think about the pilot a lot and how far away that feels from today, but I think of it very fondly.
Is that so impossible to imagine?
The most romantic scene in Riverdale would have to be when Archie and Betty kiss for the first time in the car.
I think first season did a good job really establishing the romance, the kind of slow burns that we had between Archie and Veronica and Betty and Jughead. I think those were sort of the most romantic periods.
Obviously, 315, the Shoni sex scene. I'm the biggest Shoni shipper, captain of the ship.
Cheryl and Tony at the conversion camp when she like runs up and saves her from the camp and kisses her.
Most romantic scene, Veronica and Reggie.
Betty and Jughead's musical number when they sing 17.
Can't we be 17?
I thought that was like the most romantic moment of the show for sure.
When they were performing the song 17, and it had all of our young heroes and lovers singing this song to one another, and it was so passionate, and everyone was fully committing, and everyone was really singing with their real voices, and I found it very moving, and it was very romantic at the same time.
We'll make it beautiful.
Honestly, I've always thought the most romantic scene is when Betty and Jughead are singing 17 together in season 3. I just have always thought that was such a beautiful scene. It's a beautiful moment between the two of them as a couple, and the song is really beautiful. It's funny because they're dancing around in a trailer that's like a drug lab, so it's a little ironic, but it still just so happens to be a very beautiful moment between the two of them.
Don't you want a life with me?
I have not watched all of the scenes from Riverdale, but I will say out of the scenes that I personally shot, probably when Jughead Jones sweeps her off her feet and they are slow dancing and singing to each other.
Riverdale's most romantic scene was probably when Moose and Kevin discovered Jason's dead body in Sweetwater River.
Allora, cominciamo con un bagno nudi e poi vediamo che succede.
Which Riverdale relationship am I still shipping? Kevin and Fangs?
Kevin and Fangs. I'm still shipping them.
I'm still shipping Kevin and Fangs. I really love that relationship. Kangs? Fevin?
I'm still shipping Tony and Cheryl.
I'm gonna have to say Shoni, I guess. Obviously that one's my favorite.
Shoni! Forever! I will never stop shipping Shoni. I did like Shinerva though too. Cheryl and Minerva? Shinerva? But Shoni's better.
I can't say which relationships I'm shipping these days because people will want to cut my head off no matter what I say. You have Barchi fans and you have Bughead fans, and they both hate each other and are desperate for their own ship to work out. So I'm like, I don't know how it's gonna end. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't write the show. Don't yell at me.
I'm still trying to ship Pop Tate with someone. I think Pop Tate needs to get out there. I think he needs to maybe get a Tinder or something.
Do not give up, either of you. I can fix this.
I think Archie may have had the craziest journey over 100 episodes.
Archie's had the craziest journey.
Craziest journey was, I said Archie, but everyone's journey.
Cheryl Blossom, of course.
Probably Cheryl.
Cheryl, I mean, her dead brother and having the corpse, in the house and all that stuff is pretty crazy.
Honestly, I think Betty. The fact that she was put in a hole by the trash bag killer for however many days, that just...
Probably Betty, I would say. She's gone through quite a bit.
Betty has definitely had the craziest journey on this show. She's like lost a million family members and, or they're just in jail. Yeah, they're dead or in jail. She's been through a lot, that one.
Betty has lost most of her family and has seen a lot of death right before her eyes and has solved so many mysteries. I think she inherently has experienced a lot throughout 100 episodes.
Isn't that kind of the point?
The 100th episode is a cultivation of the 99 episodes prior. It explodes into a whole new world and at the same time brings us all back to square one.
Nothing's off the table. No one is safe. Everyone's a savage. They're living in this good versus evil world that really brings out the worst in everybody.
Worlds colliding, blast from the past, a bit of suspense, and a mind-blowing final moment.
Get ready to see somebody from an alternate universe.
Riverdale on steroids, alternate universe. Yeah, anything's fair game.
It is incredibly clever and really well done. I think it's so different from all the other episodes. It's very much a special episode and very different from any other episode that we've done.
It's complicated. It's very technical, story-wise and character-wise and time-wise.
It explains a lot of the narrative insanity that we have in camp throughout each season.
It breaks the fourth wall in the sense that it acknowledges itself and that it's a kind of a comic book in a way.
It's definitely going to be an episode where you have to zone in, pay a lot of attention to what's going on.
It does a good job sort of wrapping up why the events take place the way they're sort of taking place and why the characters all take it so seriously.
It's a multiverse world coming together. I don't know how to explain it.
The 100th episode is kind of an episode for fans. It seems much more like a meta conversation between the writers and the fan base, and I think it answers a lot of narrative questions, or at least tonal questions about the show, which I think is really exciting.
This is a great way to explain the 100th episode. I couldn't even explain the craziness that's happening, and I've read the script and I'm shooting it, so good luck.
That was pretty good.